right, everybody, there it is. My second medal for 2019. So I've got the half marathon, and this is a 6.2 mile race where I opted to bike. So yay! 2 medals and 4 to go. Hey everybody! So this is the only video for this week. Sad but true, it is Friday. I have not picked this up. I picked it up, okay, let me be honest. I picked up the camera yesterday, filmed the little thing about the medals, which, ta-da! And then I filmed this big long video, and then it was the second one I had done for the week. I'm like, I made a fool of myself, so I deleted it. So I'm starting over, and this will be it for the week. Simply because, oh, it's almost noon. Simply because I had a really weird week this week. One, it was Easter, so everybody celebrated it. I hope you had a happy Easter, great Easter. My Easter was nice. I spent it with my mom and my brother and my dad. My dad came over on his lunch from work, and we had Easter lunch together because we don't do dinner, we do lunch. Plus, my dad was at work, so hence Easter lunch. My mom and I went to church, and it was nice, but we left after communion because the pastor's sermon was a little weird. It's Easter Sunday, and usually all the other Easter services I've gone to, it's always been uplifting, about our faith. I'm a Christian, so obviously I believe in the resurrection, so it's always been about our salvation through Jesus, and it's always been very powerful and uplifting, and I always love it. And our new pastor, who was our deacon, but he became our pastor, he kind of uses his sermons to moralize his beliefs, and it can be very jarring for my family. Okay, I come from a somewhat traditional family, but we are not, some of our beliefs aren't always as traditional as others. It's weird. It's kind of, I call myself I call myself a millennial conservative. It's like, I'm slightly conservative, but because I'm a millennial, I've been exposed to all these different ideas that I agree with. There are just certain things I will not budge on. So I'm not going to talk about that. So, but our pastor made some comments in this Easter Sunday sermon about divorce, and this is not the first time he's made comments about divorce. And for those of you who do not know, my parents separated. They divorced, but we never use the word divorce. We say separated. My mom and my dad separated when I was 20. So my parents were married for almost 21 years. And for the last 10 or so years, the marriage was really, really rocky. My parents have just two vastly different personalities, and in some cases that might have worked. But in later cases, later on in their marriages, they just had two different ideas of how they wanted my brother and I to grow and all this other stuff, and it just wasn't working out. So they split, and actually it's just made our family healthier and happier. I feel like, it may not seem like it, but I feel like I see a lot more of my dad after the separation, and that we spend a little bit more time with them, and my mom's more not as stressed as she was. So it's been it was a healthier option all around. And this is not something my parents ran into. This is something my parents have been talking about for a while, I guess, about separating and something like that. But because of our beliefs, it was a very hard choice to do. So it took them a while to reach that decision. In the end, it was the right decision for them. So divorce in this instance was a good option. I personally, when I get married, I want to do what my parents did and do my best never to end up in a situation where I have to get a divorce. But if it comes to it, and I know divorce is the better, healthier option, I will do it. But that's what my parents did. Like I said, I was 20, so my parents have been divorced for 11 years, and it's been great. It's been nice. But our current pastor is anti-divorce, and he has preached very strongly against divorce. And it just rubs my mom the wrong way. That was one reason we left our old church that we went to since I was a baby. We left that church because the pastor at that church was very strongly against divorce, and he made it very clear he disapproved of my mother's choice. And so I'm not sure how long my mom is going to keep going to Our Savior. She joined because I joined. And I'm honestly not sure how much longer I'm going to be going to Our Savior. I mean, I just joined, and the first two pastors were great. The third pastor was okay. This guy, he's a deacon, now he's a pastor, and it's rubbing me the wrong way. I mean, this is not what I know God wants me to hear. This is not the message that God has for me. So I'm just going to keep my options open. So Easter Sunday, except for that sermon, was really cool. I actually went to this place called Big B's Coffee for the first time. My brother loves it. I had a dark hot chocolate. It was amazing. I want to go back and try their chocolate chip cookie smoothie. I know, weird, but it sounds good. But yeah, Easter was great. I've done a little shopping this week. I ordered a Spider-Man shirt and a Darksaber replica that I can't wait to show you guys. The Darksaber replica is going to be a cheap version. It's not going to be like my nice lightsabers down there, but I kind of want it for my Sabine founding outfit. So I got a Darksaber replica. I got a new Spider-Man shirt that's coming, so I can have it for Spider-Man Far From Home. Monday I had a job interview. It was an interesting job interview. I turned the job down. Let's put it this way. It was interesting because at the start of the interview, he handed me the questionnaire that I normally get when I accept a job. And then he handed me the contract at the end of the job interview to sign to accept the job. I declined it 5 times. But that was an interesting job interview. So, and that was just like work, and I decided to be brave. I asked my bosses at Staples, asked one of the managers if they could maybe start scheduling me for a second 1 to 5 shift. So instead of just doing 1 day a week, I'm doing 2 days a week. So instead of just doing 4 hours, I bump up to 8, which would be about $50 a week. So about $20 more than what I'm making, which would be better, especially helping me considering I'm about to go drop like almost over $150 on some races in a couple weeks. But yeah, I was brave and I did that. And I'm very proud of myself for being brave and for doing that. And it is getting cloudy. This is why I'm not biking today. This right there. This is not nice weather. I do not want to go biking in this right now. I went biking yesterday and it was fun because it was beautiful. It was not too hot, not too cold. And I decided to push myself and I biked from here to Dow Diamond, which is about 4 miles away, which really isn't that far. And it was a very nice, very easy bike ride. I really enjoyed it. Plus, I discovered there's a ton of bike racks at Dow Diamond, so I can bike there to do a morning or afternoon game. It was nice, and it's very exciting that I know I can do that because next Thursday on the 2nd, they're doing a game at 10:35 a.m. So they do like I want to say they do between 2 and 4 of these every year. And they really started it as kind of a way for people who can't come to like a 2:05 game during the week or a night game. They do some of these where you can come during the day. I think this one I think they have doing this one for like school kids to come. So they have one for like where you can bring in school groups. So this next one is next Thursday is also a $1 family feast day, which means hot dogs, chips, pop, I think ice cream sandwiches are all $1. So that's why I'm partly going, is to catch a game, and also because it's cheap food. Because when I go to Star Wars night at the Great Lakes Loons, my dad and I will get there about an hour early, and as soon as the food stalls open up, we'll go grab food, because the game starts at 7:05. So if the game starts at 7:05, everything opens up about an hour before the game. I want to go get the food first, and then that way I can get my meal done, and then I can go run around and meet all the characters. But it's so expensive, but it's not too expensive, but I don't want to be having a hot dog. I did that last year. I had a free hot dog voucher, and I was so afraid I was going to get ketchup all over my outfit. So this year, when we go, I'm going to get the Tauntaun tenders, which are chicken tenders. They're so good. It's so silly saying that. It's like Tauntaun tenders. But they were really good, and I enjoyed them the first year we went. That's what I had was Tauntaun tenders. And then I got Dippin' Dots. No, last year I got Dippin' Dots. The year before I got an ice cream sundae. What's funny is the second Loons game I ever went to, my mom gave me money to get a hat. This is the hat I got, and we went for fellowship. What the Dow Diamond does is for several Sundays they do fellowship games, and basically those are games where church groups can get like a ton of tickets at a discount, and I went to one of those with my dad. So I got this hat, which I love, but if you look closely, I don't see how well you can see it. See that dark spot? That's chocolate ice cream. Like, I bought this hat because I am sensitive to sunlight, and I had gotten a chocolate ice cream cone, and the hat was on my head, and I was eating it, and somehow, and there was actually looks like another little bit of chocolate ice cream on top of the hat. I somehow got chocolate ice cream on my new hat. So, and then I also have this one. If you guys watched the Star Wars Night video from last year, this is the hat I got last year from the Loons that I absolutely love. It's so cute. I'm going to take this with me this year. It looks silly to me, but that's because I realized, why does it look so different? And then I realized it's modeled after like some of the hats the baseball players wear, and I noticed that sometimes they're a little bit thicker in the front, so it looks a little bit weird to me, but I love it. And that one was actually a steal because this one is from a Loons game, a Star Wars game a couple of years ago, so this was on discount. This one was like, I'm going to say $15. So this one was kind of expensive. This one was on sale, and I also have a pink mini baseball bat from the Loons. Yeah, so I love the Loons. They're doing really good so far this year. I have a feeling that our one player is going to get called up to the Dodgers soon because he is hitting it out of the park. So we might be losing a star player to the Dodgers. But yeah, so next Thursday, I am hopefully going to go see the Loons. And then next Saturday is May 4th. I'm planning on watching Solo: A Star Wars Story because since this is the last year, we're ending 2019 with the final Skywalker movie. After over 40 years, the saga is ending, so every month I am watching one Star Wars movie a month. And I started it, and I want to say, let's see, last month was Revenge of the Sith. I started it in, I want to say, January. And so I've been watching one Star Wars movie a month, and then in between, like where the TV shows line up. So I watched Attack of the Clones, then I watched Clone Wars, and then Revenge of the Sith the following month. So next month, May 4th, I'm watching Solo: Star Wars Story, and then I'm going to watch Rebels. And then in June, it will be Rogue One, and then I will hit the prequels, and then Force Awakens, and then, no, first I'll watch Star Wars Resistance, then Force Awakens, and then Last Jedi, and hopefully that leads me up to December for the Rise of Skywalker. I'm so pumped. So that is the 4th. But the 5th is even crazier. The 5th, that is when my brother and I are going to go see Endgame. I'm super excited. Like, I haven't read a single review. I only looked up one thing about whether there was going to be a credit scene or not. That was the only thing I looked up because this movie is 3 hours and 1 minute. And I belong to an all-girls comic fan group on Facebook called the Amazons of Marvel. So it's DC, Marvel, pretty much any comics. And they were like posting, like one person commented like, okay, no spoilers, but who has seen Endgame? And if you have, without telling me any spoilers, can you tell me what a good time is to use the restroom? Because this movie is 3 hours, and so there was actually this big, huge thing about whether or not it was going to be an intermission. No intermission. So my plan is I'm going to use the facilities before I leave home, when I get to the movie theater before the movie starts, and I am not moving for those 3 hours and 1 minute till the movie is over. And then as soon as it's over, I'm going to be like everybody else, and I'm just going to run. I might actually go as soon as the credits start, so I'm just going to run to the restroom and use the restroom. This is silly. This is a serious conversation on Facebook about when a good time is to go use the facilities during this movie. But other than that, I hear the movie's really great. I'm like, it's like emotional. I'm like, I'm still like, I'm terrified slightly of going to see this movie because Infinity War tore me for a loop. And remember, Infinity War was like only, let's see, Iron Man 2, Avengers, Civil War. Infinity War was like the fifth movie I'd ever seen from the MCU, and it tore me to pieces. So did Civil War. I was like, the thing is I watched Civil War and I was absolutely devastated. And then I watched Infinity War, and from the very moment my one favorite character bit the dust, I'm like, nah! And I was like, gone. I checked out. I was completely gone. So I'm a little bit nervous to go see Endgame, but I'm also really excited. So my brother and I are going on the 5th. We are not going this weekend, opening weekend. Actually, my brother had to work yesterday because a few of our coworkers from Staples actually took yesterday off because they decided that they got tickets and they went to go see it at the IMAX Theater, which I think is in Ann Arbor or someplace. So they were going to go see it at the IMAX theater. My one coworker was talking about how they're going to wait in line for 5 hours just to go see it in IMAX. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Fandango, use my Fandango account, because I actually have a Fandango account, and this is what's really cool. If you have a Fandango account and you also have a Disney Movie Rewards account, you can link the two and get points for buying movie tickets. So I have linked, I have Fandango and Regal Cinema Club, but there's no Regal Cinemas in my area, I think, so I don't use it. But I got it because I got a bonus for signing up. But I have Fandango, which I have to say this, I'm sure I've talked about this before. I love using certain sites to do things. Like I love using Amazon, I love Walmart.com, I love ThinkGeek, I love Hot Topic sites. I have the Honey app for my Chrome browser, and I absolutely love it. It's how I'm getting some really great deals on some of my stuff. I love Fandango. The first time I used Fandango, I actually used it to get us tickets for, I want to say it was Last Jedi was the first time I ever used Fandango. And I loved the whole experience because my brother and I were able to get in, and I chose the worst possible time to go. It was really long. But I had chosen the movie time. I paid for it online. I had tried buying movie tickets online before. I did it Rogue One through our cinema. Did not work out so well because I think they charged me twice for the tickets. But Fandango worked out great because my brother could go wait in line. I went to the kiosk. I grabbed the tickets. We didn't have to wait in anything other than line to get into the theater. And I got like a free mini poster, which I didn't print out because I wanted the big version. So Fandango is awesome. And for Endgame, if you use a MasterCard to purchase your tickets through Fandango, they make a donation to cancer research. So I love Fandango. Personally, I think it's awesome. And since it's connected to my Disney Movie Rewards account, when I buy tickets for certain Disney movies, so Dumbo, Mary Poppins, Frozen for sure, Aladdin, Lion King, Star Wars, Marvel, anything like that, I get like I want to say 136 points. So that's really awesome. Plus, it makes it easy. The reserve seating, I can just do everything through Fandango. All I have to do is if there's a kiosk, take my debit card, go get the tickets out of the kiosk. If there's no kiosk, take it up to an usher, show them my confirmation number, and they'll hand me the tickets. So it's really easy, and I really enjoy the experience. So at some point within the next few days, I'm going to go to Fandango and get our tickets for Endgame, and we are going on the 5th. We were actually planning on going 2 weeks out because we waited 2 weeks to go see Captain Marvel, but my mom's going to be busy for the next 2 weekends after the first weekend in May. She has, I think, a wedding and a concert, so she's not going to be able to take us, so we're actually going on the 5th, and I'm actually using that as a trial run to see what crowd levels are going to be at, because Endgame is, they're treating it as the end of the MCU, but here's the thing. For those of you who don't know, a guy who works for the MCU came out and said Endgame is not actually the end of Phase 3. The end of Phase 3 is going to be Spider-Man Far From Home. Endgame is the last big epic. It's going to be a farewell to some of these actors and characters because everybody knows, if you're a Marvel fan, Chris Evans is apparently retiring Captain America after playing Captain America for 10 plus years. And Robert Downey Jr. is officially retiring from Iron Man. So this is going to be interesting to see where they go. We still have a lot of characters. Chris Hemsworth has announced that as long as they keep letting him, he will keep playing Thor. Tom Hiddleston is still going to be Loki. They've already announced they're doing a Loki TV show for Disney Plus starring Tom. Elizabeth Olsen is still going to be Wanda. They announced that they're doing another series, which is going to be Wanda and Vision based, and she's going to be a part of that. Tom Holland is still doing Spider-Man. So a lot of these actors are still going to be in the MCU. But we're losing at least 2 of the big names. So it's kind of going to be like a farewell. And then Spider-Man Far From Home will wrap it all up, and then we start Phase 4. I still have to get 2 more DVD sets. See, I have this empty space just waiting for more Marvel movies to come in and fill it. But yeah, so but I'm using Endgame as kind of a test water because Endgame is kind of the same level of hype as what I feel like The Rise of Skywalker is going to be. And I made a mistake with Last Jedi is that when I got us tickets for, I want to say, the 11:35 showing, thinking it wouldn't be packed because it was morning, it was packed. So what I'm doing is, I know opening weekend, the Rise of Skywalker is going to be packed. So what I'm using Endgame for is I'm getting us tickets to the 10:35 showing. So the very first showing Sunday morning is what I'm going to get us tickets to. And then I'm going to judge the crowd levels. And if the crowd level, if it's still really crowded, what I'm then going to do is I'm just going to wait like 2 weeks and then go see the Rise of Skywalker. Because my brother does not like going opening weekend. I kind of still want to go opening weekend. It's just my brother is not a big fan, and a part of me is like, I can wait, because 1 week, 2 weeks, I can avoid seeing spoilers, anything like that, but I don't want to wait longer than 2 weeks out for the movie and then go see it. But I will, so like opening weekend to 2 weeks, that's my threshold for when I want to go see some of these movies. So I'm going to use it as a judge of things. If it's not too bad, I might just go ahead and do 10:30 for Rise of Skywalker when it comes out. But that's what I'm doing for Endgame, is we're going to the 10:30 showing. Plus, if we go at the 10:30 showing, it will be over about 1:30, which means we can get a late lunch, because I already told my brother I am not getting anything to eat or drink during that movie, because there is no way in heck I'm getting up, because somebody pointed out that there is no good time to go to the restroom, because you will go and come back and be completely lost. I'm like, okay, that answers my question. I'm not doing anything. I'm not moving from that chair. I'm also going to try and reserve us the really, really nice leather seats. Like, all the seats are leather and recline, but I'm going to try and reserve us like the really nice seats down, and see what they are like, because the seats we had for Captain Marvel were awesome, and I loved them, but they had these really nice seats in front of us, so I'm going to try to reserve a couple of those and see. But I actually might just do normal seats, because those are fine. I don't really need a fancy seat, just as long as it's comfortable for 3 hours. Ugh. No, the water tastes fine. I'm not talking about the taste of the water. It's just that yesterday I was making one of my favorite dishes to eat, and while the chicken was microwaving, I decided to eat some of the rice, and I scooped up this big thing of rice, put it in my mouth, and then, the rice was boiling hot, so I burned the roof of my mouth, and I burned the tip of my tongue, and it was so hot my chest hurt, so that was stupid. So I'm dealing with the fuzzy feeling in my tongue, and I don't like it. It's not making it fun to drink anything at all, so... But I gotta get over it, because I've got to end this and get ready to go, because I have a wedding to attend today. My cousin Kerrigan from my dad's side of the family is getting married, and I told my dad I would go with him to the wedding, and I don't know if we're going to the reception or not. But I told him I would go do the wedding ceremony at least with him, so I gotta get going so I can do devotions and my Spanish lessons, and then I just plan on chilling out the rest of the day until I have to get ready for the wedding. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks everybody who has watched my videos on Star Wars Celebration. I'm also putting a question out there. If anybody watches this, I'm thinking about doing a Q&A video. I will talk more about that later. So I'm going to get going for the week. You guys stay safe, stay sane. I'm sending you all lots of love, hugs, and prayers, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.